the book of Psalms, chapter 58 and verse 3. And it reads, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, all glory, all praise to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shah, Bahasham, Rekah HaKwadash. I want to give double honors to my apostles, my bishops, my elders, a great millstone. I want to give double honors to the high priest elders that taught those men. Salutations to you brothers that are presenting your bodies as a living sacrifice, pushing the gospel of the Lord, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shah, through the four corners of the earth. And to you believers, to you I say Shalom. And again, this brother Bon Malak out of Great Millstone Camp, Austin, coming at you with a quick lesson. And this lesson is going to center around this article that I was reading, I'm on X, but it goes into talking about what might a U.S. Iran nuclear deal entails. So I'm trying to, now put it up right here. And this article come out of Reuters. It says, what might a U.S. Iran nuclear deal entail? We'll read some of it. This was February 26, 2026 at 4:39 Eastern Central Standard Time. It said, Vienna, February 26, the United States hopes talks with Iran in Geneva will produce an agreement to prevent Tehran acquiring nuclear weapons, and President Donald Trump has amazed forces in the Middle East to increase pressure on the Islamic Republic to reach a deal. It said, what's at stake? It says, Iran has over a decade developed, and let's read it again. Iran has over decades developed an advanced and large-scale uranium enrichment program. While enriched uranium can be used as fuel in power plants at various purity levels, at high levels it can be used to make nuclear weapons. So, the U.S. is trying to come in agreement with Tehran, to keep them from high levels of this uranium. I think let's continue reading. It'll tell you what percentage. It says, until Israel and the U.S. attacked its nuclear facilities last June, Iran was enriching uranium to up to 60% purity. It's a short step from the roughly 90% that is weapon grade. So they needed to get, they was at 60%. So Israel and the U.S. started attacking Iran. But they wasn't at 90%, which is what? Weapons grade. Continue read. Had enough material enriched to that level, if enriched further for 10 nuclear weapons, according to an International Atomic Energy Agency yardstick, and more at lower levels. It says this acronym IAEA, the UN nuclear watchdog, has not, however, been able to verify how much of that uranium stock remains. Iran has yet to declare what happened to it or allow the agency to inspect its bombed nuclear facilities. So Iran, they were smart not to allow them to come in and inspect, any of their facilities, man. So when we go back to the scriptures, I read the book of Psalms, chapter 58 and verse 3. So if Iran, if they don't realize that they dealing with a fucking devil, that's going to be on them, because Esau, Edom, the so-called self-professed white man on the planet Earth, the white man, woman, son, and child, they the wicked that the Bible speaks of. That's why I read out of Psalms 58 and 3. It said, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Oh, yeah, they come over there with that, oh, yeah, man, we want to come in and try to reach a deal. And then we know that Esau Edom, he's going to break that damn deal. He's going to break it as soon as he sign off on the papers. The damn ink won't even be dry. As soon as he land that damn plane back at the U.S., they're going to be talking about, hey, man, we're going to break this shit. We got to go to war. So the wicked, matter of fact, let's see who is talking about in the wicked, Psalms 58 and 3. Again, this is the book of Psalms 58 and 3. We're going to read it, and we're going to look up the blue letter for this word. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. And we know the wicked will be Esau Edom, the so-called self-professed white man, woman, and child. Let's look up this word wicked. Strong's H 7563.
Strong's H 7563. Rasha, Rasha.
Rasha. And we go to the outline of biblical usage. It says what? Wicked, criminal, guilty one guilty of crime. These are all the characteristics and traits of Esau Edom. Because they wicked, they're criminal. And we know that Esau Edom, the so-called self-professed white man, that same spirit that Cain had, it came into Esau Edom. Our forefather Isaac had two sons, Esau and Jacob. And that spirit that Cain, the spirit of Cain, entered into Esau. And Cain was what? The first murderer. That's what Esau Edom is on the planet Earth. He's a murderer. He's a robber. He's a pillager. He's a colonizer. So the outline of biblical usage: wicked, criminal, Rasha, guilty one guilty of crime, hostile to power Yahweh, wicked, guilty of sin against power Yahweh, and man. It say or man. He's guilty against humanity as well. Matter of fact, to prove that this is the same Rasha that's spoken of in Psalms 58:3, we're going to go to the book of Job. The book of Job, chapter 9, and verse 24. And we're going to show you that this is talking about the same wicked. And earth is given to the hand of wicked. H7563.
Strong's H 7563. Rasha, Rasha.
Earth is given into the hands of the wicked. And then we go to the outline of biblical usage. You see, wicked, criminal, guilty one guilty of crime. And Esau Edom is guilty of crime because the wicked go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. So if his mouth is moving, 9 times out of 10, 10 out of 10, Esau Edom is lying. Wicked, hostile to power Yahweh, wicked, guilty of sin, guilty against Yahweh, or man, and man. Just say and man. So now we go back to Psalms 58:3. Again, it says the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Let's go to the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12 and verse 10. It says what? We just read the article. We're not going to go back to the article. If Iran still going to trust America, Babylon the Great, that's their problem, because the scriptures, it tells us, the book of Ecclesiastes, Sirach, chapter 12 and verse 10, never trust thine enemy, for like if iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. So you're never supposed to trust, your enemy. And when has America ever had anything good for Iran, Tehran, Iraq, or any other nations? Any other nation? America is a fucking tyrant. They are the bully of the whole earth. So if they coming around trying to make any kind of fucking covenant or agreement, they just coming in just so they can break it at a later date. So again, the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12 and verse 10, never trust thine enemies, for like if iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Verse 11, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. You're gonna be looking at that. If the leaders of Iran, Tehran, those that are responsible for trying to come together with a nuclear proposal for Tehran and not to make missiles, they should be looking at Esau Edom, as the rust that they are, man. They wicked as hell. Matter of fact, the book of Psalms, chapter 55 and verse 20, it says, he put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. Iran been at peace with America, but the small hats have drug America, because you got to understand, you the dumbass Babylonians, y'all don't see that this is the United States of Israel. This is not the United States of America. This is United States of Israel. Just recently, a guy was doing a video, and he was up in Washington, and he was stopping the senators and congressmen, and they were saying America first or Israel first, and they was all they were saying Israel first, because all those senators and congressmen, they all have some kind of fucking either they are supported by AIPAC or they are small hats themselves. So again, the book of Psalms 55 and verse 20, it says, he hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with them. He hath broken his covenant. See, Esau, Edom is going to break a covenant. You can be at peace with him, and he going to break that covenant, because he'll fucking, the wicked are strange from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. In Sirach chapter 12 and verse 10, it said, never trust thine enemies, for like if iron rusteth, so is his wickedness, man. We're reading these scriptures, but people just won't, they don't understand that, Esau, Edom is that is that wicked one of the earth. Let's go to, matter of fact, because Esau, Edom, they make, I don't even have this up here, but we're going to get it. Let's go to 1 Thessalonians. Let's go to 1 Thessalonians. 1 Thessalonians, the 5th chapter. Because Esau, Edom, I want 5. 1 Thessalonians, chapter 5. The book of 1 Thessalonians, chapter 5 and verse 3. Because Esau gonna sell, that nuclear arms agreement. That, hey man, we can all just have peace and safety. We all can share the earth. That's what they'll tell the Tehran. They'll tell the government. They'll say, hey man, we can all just come together under a peace agreement, and you stay on your side, we'll stay on our side. But that's just the wicked that Esau. That's Esau for you. He gonna tell you those smooth words, but in his heart he gonna imagine how to overthrow thee. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 3, for when they shall say peace and safety, then southern destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. But the point is, when they shall say peace and safety, then southern destruction come upon them as travail upon a woman. That's what Esau, Edom will do, to the other nations, man. Next thing you know, goddamn, the Iranian people, man, they be sitting over there and looking up, and goddamn, next thing you know, they got missiles coming in at them. America showed that they'll do that shit. They did it to them last year. Hey, yeah, we got peace and safety, so you can't never trust Esau, Edom, man, because he's always trying to imagine how to throw thee in a damn pit. That's just the nature of them. They was created to be the wicked of the earth, and they fulfilling they lot, 100%. A beautiful thing for them to fulfill their lot on the left hand side. Now, if you stupid, you other nations, if y'all stupid and y'all think y'all can come to an agreement or come to some kind of make some kind of covenant with Esau, Edom, you're a fool. The scriptures again, go read the book of Ecclesiastes, Sirach 12 and 10. Let's go. Let's see where we're at. Yeah, we'll close it out here in the book of Zephaniah, chapter 3 and verse 8. And all the nations, all the nations, but this is talking about Israel. But we can also apply it to the other nations if they would listen to the prophets. And the prophets are mainly here in Babylon the Great, and and spread it out through the four corners of the earth. But the book of Zephaniah, chapter 3 and verse 8, it says, therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord Yahweh, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them my indignation, even all my fierce anger. For all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. So the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, he allowed Esau, Edom, and Iran, to use this uranium to get it. They'll eventually get it to 90% to be weapons grade, so that they can shoot their missiles over here on Babylon the Great, along with Russia, China, North Korea, Iraq, and the other nations, man. And so the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua saying, wait ye upon me, so Iran, if they were smart, what they'll do, they'll continue to do what they're doing, fulfill Bible prophecy, because the scriptures say that the king's heart, I think I read this yesterday, we can read it every day, the book of Proverbs chapter 21. Salakia. The Book of Proverbs chapter 21 and verse 1. It said, a king's heart is in the hands of the Lord Yahweh as rivers of water. He turneth it whithersoever he will. So the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, he turns the king. He's just playing with the kings of the earth with their hearts. And their heart goes into their mind. They lob their mind. So he just playing with their minds, allowing them, to have these little small skirmishes, because eventually he going to make it be one big skirmish. And it's going to be what? Total nuclear destruction that's going to happen here in Babylon the Great and Israel. Because the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua said, with the fire of my jealousy. So, he got to cleanse the earth with fire. Esau don't shed so much blood, that the earth has to be cleansed, and it has to be cleansed with fire. And in America, Babylon the Great, where the Israelites' blood is shed, it has to be cleansed. And he got to cleanse it with Esau Edom's blood. And 2/3 of the Negro, Latinos, Native Americans that reject that they are the Israelites that the Bible speaks of. So I pray this lesson has been edifying. I want to give all honor, all glory, all praise